I am a symbol of my soul. I am astonished, disappointed, pleased with myself. I am distressed, depressed, rapturous. I am all these things at once and cannot add up the sum. All the works of man have their origin in creative fantasy. What right have we then to depreciate imagination? If you cannot understand why someone did something, look at the consequences and infer the motivation. The world will ask who you are, and if you do not know, the world will tell you. What is not brought to consciousness comes to us as fate. One of the most difficult tasks men can perform, however much others may despise it, is the invention of good games. Depression is like a woman in black. If she turns up, don't shoo her away. Invite her in, offer her a seat, treat her like a guest and listen to what she wants to say. Freedom of will is the ability to do gladly that which I must do. To make what fate intends for me my own intention. Who has fully realized that history is not contained in thick books but lives in our very blood? I simply believe that some part of the human self or soul is not subject to the laws of space and time. I thought perhaps she was crazy, but she was only highly intuitive. If you think along the lines of nature, then you think properly. Heaven has become for us the cosmic space of the physicists. But the heart glows, and a secret unrest gnaws at the roots of our being. One could say, with a little exaggeration, that the persona is that which in reality one is not, but which oneself as well as others think one is. Modern man can't see God because he doesn't look low enough. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens. Our heart glows, and secret unrest gnaws at the root of our being. Dealing with the unconscious has become a question of life for us. The mind that is collectively orientated is quite incapable of thinking and feeling in any other way than by projection. The word belief is a difficult thing for me. I don't believe. I must have a reason for a certain hypothesis. Either I know a thing, and then I know it, I don't need to believe it. When religion stops talking about animals, it will be all downhill. We can keep from a child all knowledge of earlier myths, but we cannot take from him the need for mythology. Companionship thrives only when each individual remembers his individuality and does not identify himself with others. Only in the first hour of the night can I become human, while the male dove is busy with the 12 dead. Only boldness can deliver from fear. And if the risk is not taken, the meaning of life is somehow violated, and the whole future is condemned to hopeless staleness. In the last analysis, most of our difficulties come from losing contact with our instincts, with the age-old forgotten wisdom stored up in us. Life calls, not for perfection, but for completeness. What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size. I am not what has happened to me, I am who I choose to become. I do not forget that my voice is but one voice, my experience a mere drop in the sea, my knowledge no greater than the visual field in a microscope. Uniqueness and limitation are synonymous. Only the wounded physician heals, and then only to the extent he has healed himself. Each is deceived by the sense of finality peculiar to the stage of development at which he stands. If you are a gifted person, it doesn't mean that you gained something. It means you have something to give back. But what a dreary world it would be if the rules were not violated sometimes. The motto, "Where there's a will, there's a way," is the superstition of modern man. In spite of our proud domination of nature, we are still her victims, for we have not even learned to control our nature. Our psyche is part of nature, and its enigma is as limitless. Our biggest problems cannot be resolved. They must be outgrown. Whoever looks from inside knows that everything is new. Everyone has in him something of the criminal, the genius, and the saint. The way to truth stands open only to those without intentions. Not everything I bring forth is written out of my head, but much of it comes from the heart also. Relationships must be fostered as far as possible and maintained, and thus a morbid transference can be avoided. Alcohol is the reduced form of spirit. Therefore, many people, lacking spirit, take to drink. They fill themselves with alcohol. Crimes the individual alone could never stand are freely committed by the group. Only the complete person knows how unbearable man is to himself. Until you allow the unconscious to become conscious, it will rise up to you as your life and you will call it your fate. There is no difference in principle between organic and psychic growth. As a plant produces its flower, so the psyche creates its symbols. Ethical decision is possible only when one is conscious of the conflict in all its aspects. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid their own souls. Those who look outside, dream. Those who look inside, awaken. Never lose the hope that work done with love will lead to a good end. Unlived life is a destructive, irresistible force that works softly but inexorably. Archetypal images decide the fate of man. What you call knowledge is an attempt to impose something comprehensible on life. There are so many indications that one does not know what one sees. Is it the trees or is it the woods? Let things happen. There is no greater burden on a child than the unlived life of a parent. We don't so much solve our problems as we outgrow them. Projections change the world into the replica of one's own unknown face. Nothing that is good has come into the world without bringing a corresponding evil. You are a slave of what you need in your soul. A belief proves to me only the phenomenon of belief, not the content of the belief. Neurosis is an inner cleavage, the state of being at war with oneself. Like a dream which seems a reality as long as we are in it. One form of life cannot simply be abandoned unless it is exchanged for another. In order to undergo a far-reaching psychological development, neither outstanding intelligence nor any other talent is necessary. A career, producing of children, are all maya, illusion, compared to that one thing, that your life is meaningful. Sacrifice always means the renunciation of a valuable part of oneself, and through it the sacrificer escapes being devoured. Nothing worse could happen to one than to be completely understood. I never think that I am the one who must see to it that cherries grow on stalks. There is no good that cannot produce evil, and no evil that cannot produce good. See you in the next videos.